We are back for part 2 of our Damn Worthless Radio show. I'm Mike, my co-host is Matt.
Hey, in the house.
And we are going to listen to him giving us a little information about the 80s in Matt's special very own segment, Back to the 80s.
Alright, so this is a little new. I hadn't really set up a real format here, so I'm looking back at 85. So,
85, good year.
Let's say, yeah, it's a crazy year. So I'm looking back at the 85 music timeline. So we got John Fogerty. I don't know if too many guys know about him. He used to be the CCR. He released his own album that year, like the single Center Field, like Mike probably can relate. It's like, put me in, coach. I want to be center field. So he was out. Foreigner, they came out with a great album that year.
Foreigner? I haven't heard of Foreigner in a while, man.
Dude, that was like one of their best albums. I Want to Know What Love Is. That was a great song. And who does not know The Breakfast Club? The Breakfast Club came out that year. That was out.
That was a good movie, man. I didn't see it like right when it came out, but that was a good movie. You know, I don't know, just something about it. That's one of those timeless classics that you just, I don't know. I hope they don't make a remake of it, because that's one of those movies that you just can't make a remake. What are you gonna do? Catch all the kids in frickin' detention on Saturday playing with their cell phones?
That's how, like, so, you know, the whole concept of the movie is supposed to be a bunch of misfits, so it's like bringing different, you know, the only person probably they would be missing if they tried to remake it these days is they were missing the black person, because they're trying to show how, like, different societies, way childs were being brought up, like how they didn't relate to each other in school. So that's how the Breakfast Club, they were like, you know, different breeds. One was poor, one was rich, it was that. So that's what the Breakfast Club was about. So
yeah,
the only person they were missing was a black person on that one. So, but I mean, see, Prince, he came out with the album again, Round in the World with the Days. Madonna, Like a Virgin, she debuted. She went on.
Wow, that was 85?
Yep, Madonna came out 85, Like a Virgin. So, Megadeth, they formed a band after. Dave Mustaine formed Megadeth after they got kicked out from Metallica, not getting along with them. Who would not imagine that? Dave Mustaine being an asshole. They did Farm Aid that year.
Farm Aid, I remember that.
Yeah,
wow.
A bunch of bands it was up in Illinois, Champaign, Illinois. Willie Nelson was the big headliner for that. John Mellencamp, Neil Young raised a shitload of money. I'm going to say Farm Aid, that was a big thing to raise money for Africa. They had like several bands. It was like a big worldwide thing. They had bands. I don't know which bands all did that, but they like started out in London, and they did one, like another Farm Aid the same day. People were like, a couple bands, like when they were done in London, they packed up their bags, flew to Philadelphia because they were doing a Live Aid. And this money was to raise money for not AIDS, but the poor children in Somalia and all that stuff. So 85 was pretty cool. I mean, I was reading through, there's so much stuff going on. Nintendo came out that year.
Oh, that is one of the greatest inventions ever.
Yeah, it was released in Japan in 83 and made it to the States in 83. Or 85, I should say. I mean, it was released in 83. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, who didn't have a Nintendo? Everyone had a Nintendo.
Oh, shit, yeah, everybody. Nintendo was awesome.
I spent so many nights up playing Nintendo with my buddies. Just, there was no save game. It was literally, you started back from the beginning of the game. Super Mario Brothers, man, I became a pro at that game. But you had to start.
Super Mario's was the game. It came out in the U.S. because that was the game.
Yeah, yep. you had to go back to the beginning every time. If you lost your 3 little guys and didn't have any extras, you were back at the beginning. But the more you played, the more you learned how to get the extra guys. And, eventually you had like 25 guys and that guy died, who cares? And
you learned about the secret worlds and you're like, holy shit, there's secret worlds. And what? Yeah, I love Super Mario. Super Mario's badass. We used to spend days and nights playing that damn game.
Oh, yeah. And they actually came out with a retro little version of the NES with 30 games on it, and that's one of the games. And I'd like to get one, but I
don't know if they play the same. That's the only thing.
No, they play exactly the same, and it came out by Nintendo for that reason. It plays exactly the same, but you can't find one. They're freaking $60. Or they're supposed to be $60, but all these assholes go and hoard this shit, and then they sell it on eBay for $200. Christmas was terrible for it, man. My wife was trying to find me one. I was trying to find one, and you couldn't. And none were less than $150 because people were trying to make money off of it, and they still haven't made up for that backlog. So when they come out again, man, I am definitely getting one. Definitely.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I can't believe. 85 was a great year because there's so much information I could give to you guys. I was just blown away with myself on 85 because they were saying this 85 was the first year for the internet where they started doing a DNS system for you computer geeks. That's where they assigned internet stuff, so the internet knows where it's talking to, and so that's when the internet started becoming the internet. And then and they were doing other shit. Coca-Cola tried to switch their formula, and people were like,
"Oh man, it tasted like Pepsi."
And then Coca-Cola, they're like, they tried to switch that formula that year, and it took them 3 months to switch back to the original formula because people said it tastes like shit. So they went back to the original formula.
Yeah, it was close to Pepsi. Very close to Pepsi.
That's what people were saying, and they're so, 85 was a good year. There's a lot of stuff out there I could throw out there. There's another one with Jerry Falwell. There's a lot of, back in the 80s, I remember as a kid, but there's a lot of preachers trying to raise money, take money from the average Joe. If you send me your money, you'll be with Jesus and all this stuff. Well, there's one guy that was not very happy with this. He's a computer programmer. I guess he didn't realize that his mom was putting a lot of money into a certain organization named Jerry Falwell. So he found out, wondering why his mom's money was disappearing. So he reversed engineer. He's an IT smart guy back in the 80s. And this is when you had 1-800 numbers. I used to just call 1-800 number in the 80s, and it'd probably just automatically charge your damn phone.
Oh, yeah.
Or some shit. I'm guessing that's the scam. That's why he was so PO'd, because his mom spent he said the farm, so the mom must have spent a lot of money. And old ladies, and they want to, being in the South, wherever, being in Atlanta, that's because I'm going to say that's where he was. Must have been super religious and wanted to make sure she supported Jesus. So she did what she had to do, but her son wasn't happy, so he reversed this on Jerry Falwell. So he set up a thing where his phone would call every 30 seconds. hang up. I don't want to answer, but I guess the way the phone taxes work, then they'd charge them a phone fee, and maybe the 1-800 wasn't free like it used to be, like it is now. So, but I guess this guy over a year charged $500,000 to Jerry Falwell, which was deserved because he probably made more than that. But
hey, that's probably about the time that the 900 numbers came around as well. When you wanted a little sex talk and you didn't have a girlfriend, you went ahead and called yourself the 900 number, and they charged you $4.99 a minute.
Yep. And you're like, yeah. And halftime, you're like, I remember as a kid, you're tempted to call it. You're like, did I call it? You're like, because you didn't know if it would charge you if it picked up, because you were just wanting it. Because I was like, man, I ain't gonna take that risk. I get my balls ripped off.
Yeah, well, it's like $4.99 a minute, first minute free.
Yeah, $4.99. Back in the 80s, that's like $15.
Yeah, well, it's like $4.99. I could call for like 1 minute, and I can listen, with the free minute, and. But they sit there and they won't talk to you during that minute. Next thing you know, you're into 5 minutes, and then you spent $25-$30 just to hear a chick say, "And what do you like?"
What do you like? Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not that I would know.
But I want to get back to evangelism thing. I know what you're saying, but evangelism was pretty bad. They were raped, because I remember seeing that shit all over the TV. So, but he raped. I thought it was awesome. I read the article because Falwell used to drive me crazy. A lot of that stuff used to drive me crazy in the 80s. I don't know. It's like they don't do that as much these days, but back in the 80s, it was like crazy.
Oh, yeah. You'd see the scroll across the screen, Oh, Peggy Sue from Arkansas sent us $100. She's going to heaven on the fast train. And we got Mary Schneider in Tucson, Arizona, sent us $50. She'll be right behind Mary.
It's like doing their little hill thing where they're passing out on the TV. Oh, they've been healed. And all that.
You've been healed.
They've been healed. But so, I thought that was great because I remember that as a kid. So that kind of stood out to me as being funny. But 85, that was a good year. There was a lot of stuff that went on. I mean, I could go on forever because I was like, see here. NXS came out with the hit. I loved NXS at the time, but that was a bad situation. That guy, he committed suicide. That hurt my feelings. He died. I was like, I couldn't believe he committed suicide. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I like their stuff as I got older. It's weird. I never was too big into them when they first came out, but when they were around, they were pretty big. When they had a different style of music, completely different style of music.
Yeah, and then see, they did. And Dire Straits, oh God, they come out with Brothers for Armed Money for Nothing. I want my MTV. I mean, I ain't gonna sing this shit, but
come on, man.
Oh, I could, but I don't want to hurt our ear. Their ears are probably bleeding already. But that was a great album because Dire Straits, they're just badass band anyway. But it seems like after that album, they kind of fizzled up. I figured they probably got the money what they needed, but they were just awesome. They said, we're good.
Oh, man. Well, hey, let me throw on some tunes for everybody out there. We got a little throwback to the 80s with a little Huey Lewis and the News, The Heart of Rock and Roll.
Oh, that's good.